Hey guys, how's it going? Shay from That Student Life Australia, and in today's video I'm going to share with you my daily and weekly university routine, the thing that has allowed me to get HDs in a lot of my subjects, share with you all the secrets that I have. Let's go. Alright, so let's get a real basic rundown of how university works. Full-time students in Australia do 4 subjects, or 40 units per semester. Each week, per subject, you'll usually go to a lecture or a tutorial or a thing called a workshop, which is both of those combined. Now, what is a lecture? A lecture is kind of like a group setting where a professor gets up in front of everyone, gets a PowerPoint presentation and talks through all of the material for that coming week and goes through a couple of questions without much input from the students. A tutorial, however, is essentially the same thing, except the lecturer actually really involves the students in the problem solving of any questions and just ask them lots of questions about the material and sees if they actually understand it. Okay, the next thing I just quickly want to mention is the university assessment schedule. So the 100% assessment wise is split up into many things. Most subjects will have weekly quizzes each week that might be worth 2% or 1% each, and you might do 10 or 12 of those every semester. You might have tutorial quizzes every couple of weeks that are worth, a couple of percent each. And then you might have a mid-semester exam usually, which is worth, 20, 30%. And then you'll usually have a final exam, which is usually worth a lot, say 50%. Alright, so now we can go over my routine for university each week. Okay, so each week, before I turn up to a lecture or a tutorial or a workshop, there is one key important thing that I do. I download all of the material that we're going to be given that week in the lectures and the tutorials, and I go over them before we even get there. So, before I get to a lecture or a tutorial, I have already read through all the slides that we're going to read through this week. I have already opened up a Word document for that subject, and called it this subject's notes or whatever. I transfer each week, highlighted points from all the lecture slides and move it over into that document so that I can keep notes of all the important stuff as I go. Don't have to do it 2 days before the exam, heaps stressing out. So, that's what I do. Before I turn up to any workshop or lecture or whatever, I already know what we're going to be doing in that workshop or lecture or whatever. So it really kind of drills it in when I actually go in real life and talk to the lecturers and actually listen to them speak. I've heard it all before. It means I learn it better, remember it better, and usually understand it. Or if I don't understand it, I've already got my questions ready and I know which points are going to be hard, which helps a lot. Alright, so apart from going through all the notes before I get there and making notes on them myself before I get there, when I'm in class, I really pay attention as much as I can. If we do problem questions, I try and have a really good go at all of them. And if I get an answer right, that's awesome. But if I don't, I make sure I ask as many questions as I have to in order to fully understand what the answer was. I take that answer down and keep a note of it for later, because the ones I get wrong, I definitely want to go over in my preparation for any mid-semester or final semester exams. And apart from those two things, the third thing I do each week is to make sure I have reminders set in my phone so that I can do my weekly quizzes. I usually have a quiz worth 1% for each of my subjects each week of the semester, and they're usually, end date on a Sunday at 12 AM. That's the last point you can do them at. So I try and get them done probably Thursday or Friday. So I set a reminder each week for that, make sure I tick those off. They usually only take 5-10 minutes each subject, but it's good to get them off because usually they're not too hard if you've been paying attention in class. And if you can get 10% out of the total 10% for that in the semester, it really helps for things like, a silly mistake made in an exam can usually make up for it. So pretty much, if you do those 3 things in and out each week of the semester, you'll be definitely ready to go. When you have a mid-semester exam or a final semester exam, you will have obviously gone through the content twice each week because you did it before the class and in the class. You will have plenty of problem questions that you've done in your tutorials with the right answers in your book or on your computer that you can always look back on and redo. Any problems you will have had, you will have hopefully asked heaps of questions about. You've already done all your quizzes and all that sort of stuff. You've made your notes as you go so that by the time you're 2 weeks out from an exam, you've got all the notes already made, so all you need to do is just memorize them and learn them, and that's the key to doing well at university. Yeah, so if you use those 3 tips I gave you and any other things you find to be helpful in and out each week consistently, I think you can do really well at university. So yeah guys, just give it a shot, don't be too scared because it's really not that hard. And if you have any questions or you're unsure about things, you'll usually pick it up as you go. You can hit the ground running at university and you just put in the time and it'll all seem to come together. So yeah guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.